In this 25th anniversary year of September 11th, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation continues to honor America's heroes. Heroes like Fire Lieutenant Michael Wells, who was inspired by 9/11 to serve his community. After 14 dedicated years of service, he lost his battle with occupational cancer, leaving behind his wife, Katie, and their 3 children. Tunnel to Towers honored Lieutenant Wells by paying off the family's mortgage in recognition of his sacrifices. Donate $11 monthly and amplify your impact with a car or land donation. Go to T2T.org.
Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, was in New York today, and she is just back from a big trip there. Joining us now is the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. Madam Secretary, it's so great to have you here. And by the way, you and I share a love affair. We both loved Coach Lou Holtz, who is a dear friend of mine as well.
Oh, Rita, boy, the world lost a good one, didn't it, a couple months ago? But nobody better than Lou Holtz. That's amazing.
Yeah, he was such a great soul, and I remember him even mentioning you too. So it's really beautiful to have you here. Tell us about your big trip to New York.
Well, listen, it's funny. I've been in this role now about a year, a little less than a year and a half. It has been an extraordinary opportunity to fight for what's great about this country, right? Our farmers, our ranchers, our food producers, our rural Americans. I mean, everything that our country was built on. But I'd been to New York City in the role, but I had yet to visit any farms in New York. So flew in yesterday into upstate New York, into Syracuse, visited some incredible dairy farmers, 5th and 6th generation. Their great-great-great-granddads had purchased the land, and they'd been raising dairy cows on that land since the 1890s. And we had the most wonderful day. That's got to be one of the prettiest parts of the country up there in upstate New York. It was glorious.
It is a really beautiful part. I want to hear your thoughts because you've always been so eloquent when you have been, especially in the cabinet meetings. And what I love about President Trump's cabinet meetings, they're out there. He goes through each one, and you are I know you have such great connections, obviously, with the farming community, with your own background. Talk about what farmers are going through right now. And I know that I have a lot of friends who are farmers, and they're worried, obviously, about fuel, fertilizer, just with the economy. How are they getting by?
Yeah, no, it's thank you. And by the way, thank you for having me. Thank you for those lovely words. I am inspired every day by the president. I'm inspired by my fellow cabinet members who, too, have put agriculture at the top of their list. It's just such a blessing to get to work with all these amazing people. But yeah, there's no doubt. Listen, the farm economy is really facing some headwinds, and this has been true now for a number of years. But in our interim, when we left the first term, and things were looking pretty good, the ag trade surplus was at about $8 billion, meaning we were shipping a lot of great agriculture products out into the world. In the 4 years we were gone, Rita, that trade surplus turned into a $50 billion agricultural trade deficit, which meant we lost all of our markets in soybeans, sorghum, cotton, beef, et cetera. It's heartbreaking to see. And also in those 4 years, the cost of inputs for our farmers, I mean, we know inflation went up over 20% for everyone in America in those 4 years, but for farmers, the cost of inputs went up on average between 30 and 40%. Labor, seed, fertilizer, fuel, et cetera. So we inherited a little bit of a mess. In the last year and a half, we've been able to solve for a lot of it. We've got 24 new trade deals. We've cut that trade deficit by almost half in 1 year. So instead of having a $50 billion trade deficit, we're down to about $23 billion in agricultural products. So we're going to be able to hopefully get that down to zero and go back into surplus in the next year or two. The cost of inputs has come down. Labor's down 40%. Interest rates are coming down. Now, with the Strait of Hormuz closing, with the Iranian conflict, what was a downward trajectory for fuel and fertilizer has seen a little bit of a blip to come back up, as the president has said. We expected that. But as soon as the conflict is done, as soon as the president gets done what he believes and what he's doing right for the American people, we'll see those come back down as well. But we are doing everything we can to make sure the farm economy is strong, striking those new trade deals, making farmers, giving them the markets. So instead of farming for a government check, farming for, for markets and to sell their incredible goods. And we're getting there. The morale in our farm community, surprisingly, even by metrics, even by those who go and poll it, is actually up, even with all of these headwinds. And I believe that's because they know this president is fighting for them and going to do everything he can to get to a golden age for rural America.
And you can tell he loves the farmers, too. Like, one of my favorite scenes, Secretary Rollins, was seeing the tractor there at the White House. He had the big, huge tractor, and it was like he was like, old home, I got to go see the tractor. You can tell he fell in love with it. We also have with us here Judge Richard Weinberg, Madam Secretary.
Madam Secretary, good to have you on the show. I'll tell you what concerns me about the issue of farming in America. Why are we allowing foreign countries to buy up our farmland, particularly China? To me, that's a suicidal effort, and we should stop that.
Agreed.
What are your thoughts?
Agreed. Well, in 1983, China owned about 2,000 acres of American farmland. Today, it is almost 300,000 acres of American farmland. It is absolutely a national security effort, and it has happened. America has been asleep. The president has talked a long time since he came down that golden escalator. In your backyard in New York 10 years ago, he talked about how our manufacturing's been hollowed out, our pharmaceutical, et cetera, has been hollowed out. But right alongside that, and we're just beginning to fully realize it, our agriculture has been hollowed out. In just a little over a decade, what used to be us producing all of our own fertilizer, we now rely on China, Russia, and other countries. By the way, as far as the inputs go, back, Rita, to your point, we are now reshoring and onshoring fertilizer and seed, et cetera, again. So that's a really important point for the long term for the farmers and for our food supply. But at the same time, Judge, we've seen, again, the offshoring of fertilizing, of processing of our beef, of our seeds, et cetera. We've seen our food supply chain be bought up by China, by Brazil, by other countries. When I talk about that agricultural trade deficit that we inherited when we came back a year and a half ago, Brazil took over our soybean market, our cotton market, our sorghum market, our beef market. I mean, these are real existential issues. If we want to preserve freedom and our sovereignty for the next 250 years, we have to reverse this trend. China buying farmland is only part of it, but it's a really big part of it.
And before we let you go, Secretary Brooke Rollins, just the Energizer Bunny that is President Trump. I see you like you're in the Oval Office with him. Then he's here. Then he's there. It really is incredible just how many things he has in the hopper between overseas. But he has such a connection. And this year is really celebrating it, true form with America 250, with Freedom 250.
I'm so proud of him, Rita. He is a really tough boss, right? There is no room for incompetence. There is no room for laziness. There is no room for pausing. We are full speed, all gas, no brakes all the time, 7 days a week, but we're literally fighting to save this country. And he's right. I mean, there is no rest for the weary here. We are expected to do everything we possibly can in this short 4 years, now 2.5 left, to save America. And I believe we're in a very similar situation as the 1776ers, as back in our founding fathers fighting against tyranny. I believe very similar to the 1860s with Abraham Lincoln fighting against a different kind of tyranny, obviously the darkness of slavery. And I believe we're there again in the 2020s, that we're fighting against the tyranny of woke, radical, leftist, socialist government. And y'all I got to listen to Alan Dershowitz and you guys talk about what's happening in New York City before I came on. I mean, it is dark. It is very dark in very important places in this country, like New York City, like California. We have to keep fighting for the light, and that's what this is about. And this president leads the way for us. He is a tireless, fearless, courageous, bold leader that our country hasn't seen in a really long time.
Yeah, it is amazing what he has accomplished. Well, he's got a good team, especially the gal from Glen Rose, Texas. So, so it's great to have you here, Madam Secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam
Thank
Secretary.
you very much.
Thank you so much.
Amonte's Key Food, proudly serving communities throughout Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island for over 30 years. When you shop Key Food, you'll always find fresh products, great weekly specials, and exceptional personalized service. Visit at any of their Key Food stores at 8235 153rd Avenue, Lindenwood, New York, 935 Rosedale Road, Valley Stream, New York, and 6620 Avenue U, Brooklyn, New York.